Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Mo ang bagong pag-asa, simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita, ipadama ang pusong may malasakit. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Sakali mang tayo'y subukin ng unos, ating harapin ng walang takot. Sasamahan ka ni Fernan at Dino, ang bagong barkada mo. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Fer, bakit parang stress ka?
Kanina pa kasi ayaw malagin ng FB account ko eh.
Nakalimutan mo ba ang password mo?
Hindi. Tanda ko kaya yung password ko.
Hindi kaya nahack ang account mo?
Baka nga. Hala, Fer, lagot ka.
Paano ba nahahack ang mga accounts?
Yan ang aalamin natin sa ating episode ngayon. Kaya naman, halina't manood tayo.
Tara, let's G!
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Fernandino Teens TV. I'm SirCABS, and today, I will be glad in sharing with you about empowerment technology. Before we start our lesson, I would like you to watch this short video clip. What do you think is this? The short video clip that we have just seen is not a war game, but rather, it generates actual online attacks being perpetrated around the world. And that was captured last August 26, 2020 by FireEye Cyber Threats Map Laboratory and Fortinet. You can see in the clip that every hour, every minute, every second of the day, whenever you get connected to the internet, you actually become a target of threats and attacks. Is that something frightening? That could be a yes. But do not worry much, because today, I will share with you how you could protect yourself from computer and social media threats. And now, allow me first to ask you this question. As a user of information and communication technology, have you ever experienced the following? Getting virus in your computer? The files in your flash drive were deleted. Or your social media account was hacked. If your answer is yes, and you want to know what to do about it, then this episode would be a great help, because this lesson is prepared especially for you. Fernandino teens, today's session is entitled Cybersecurity. Protect yourself from various computers and social media threats. This webinar is intended for the following objectives. First, define cybersecurity and cyber threats. Second, identify security threats on various platforms, including social media. And third, be a responsible user of ICT and producer of usable information by applying how to safeguard information and others both online and offline. So now, what do you think about cybersecurity? Do you have any idea? According to www.kaspersky.com, cybersecurity is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. It's also known as information technology security or electronic information security. Did you know that there are two common types of cybersecurity? Because during this time of pandemic, where most people are advised to stay safe and work from home, most people depends on the use of ICT, either for personal, for business, for learning, or for entertainment. That is where various threats and risks may likewise increase if we are not aware of it. As mentioned earlier, computer security refers to the practice of securing a computer network from intruders. What about computer security threat or cyber threats? Computer security threat is anything that may cause damage to the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of your data. Misconfigured software, unpatched operating systems, and unsafe computer habits all contribute to creating cyber threats. As the need to use computing devices increases every day, especially this time of pandemic, there are also risks associated with the use of ICT. There are possible threats like malware, which include virus, worm, Trojan, and spyware that we might encounter. An example of malware is computer virus. It is a program written to alter or modify the way a computer operates without the permission or knowledge of the user. One good example of computer virus is the I Love You virus. I Love You virus is the most popular, most dangerous virus of all time according to Guinness World Record. It was created by two Filipino programmers, Ronel de Guzman and Ronel Ramones. Another malware is worm. Worms can modify and delete files, and they can even inject additional malicious software onto a computer, depleting system resources such as hard drive space, or bandwidth by overloading a shared network. Virus, worms, what else is considered malware? We also have Trojans as malware. Once activated, it can enable cybercriminals to spy on you, steal your sensitive data, and gain backdoor access to your system. Aside from computer virus, worms, and Trojans, another malware is the spyware. A serious computer security threat is spyware is any program that monitors your online activities or installs program without your consent for profit or to capture personal information. An example of this is the Pegasus spyware. The notorious spyware, developed by the Israeli surveillance company NSO Group, is known for selling high-tech monitoring tools that can remotely invade iPhone and Android devices to intelligence agencies, military, and law enforcement agencies around the world. After discovering about malware threats, hacking is likewise another form of cyber threat. Hacking means using computers to commit fraudulent or deceitful acts such as fraud, privacy, invasion, stealing corporate or personal data, and so on. These online predators can compromise credit card information, lock you out of your data, and steal your identity. Let me give you an example about this. According to a report, 2 Nigerian hackers found a vulnerability that was left open when the bank was in the middle of upgrading its information technology and security systems. They developed malware to exploit this vulnerability, gain remote access, and examine the bank's operations, including the way funds were being processed and transferred online last June 2020. Phishing is another threat to the safety of confidential data of a person or organization. It is a cybercrime in which a target or targets are contacted by email, telephone, or text message by someone posing as a legitimate institution to lure individuals into providing sensitive data such as personally identifiable information, banking, and credit card details and passwords. A good example of this is about what happened with the email of BPI clients that were jeopardized of being compromised of phishing confidential data. How can you identify a phishing email? First, the greeting is in general context wherein it must be personalized and addressed to the name of the client. Another, when you hover the link, you will see that the link is not directing to the BPI official website, but to a suspicious site. So, beware. Now, do you know any other forms of cybersecurity? Are social media platforms exempted from online threats? Let us find out when Fernandino Teens TV returns. Stay tuned!
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Fernandino Teens! Tuloy-tuloy tayo sa pag-aaral dito sa Telescola Fernandino Senior High Life. Huwag magpapahuli sa mga lessons hatid sa inyo ng DepEd Schools Division of the City of San Fernando, Pampanga at ng City Government of San Fernando, Pampanga. Attend your classes tuwing Biyernes mula 1 p.m. hanggang 2 p.m. simula August 28. Dito lang yan sa cltv36.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando at cltv36.
Fernandino Teens TV.
You are still watching Fernandino Teens TV. Before we had our commercial break, I left you with a question if social media platforms are exempted from getting their users' information being compromised from security threats. We can recall at the beginning of our lesson that a common type of cybersecurity is computer security. So now, let's have the other one. So, the other type of cybersecurity is information security. It protects the integrity and privacy of data, both in storage and in transit. Millions of people around the world are being connected every day through a giant network, the Internet. People used to exchange various information over the network as they use social media platforms and avail of online transactions such as online banking, e-fund transfer, e-shopping, and a lot more. We can recall that among all the social media platforms, Facebook, garnering 89.27% from July 2019 up to July 2020, has the highest number of users in our country, with Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram trailing behind. With this in mind, social media platforms have become target of hackers. The question is, how do hackers compromise social media accounts? Which social media platform do you have? Comment your answer below. Among these social media platforms, 3 are widely used. What do you think are those top 3 widely used social media platforms? Type your answers on the comment section below. From the list to the most used social media platform, let us reveal the answers. Let's start with number 3. YouTube is ranked 3rd as the most used social media platform in the Philippines from July 2019 to July 2020. Second, Twitter is mostly used social media platform in the Philippines. By the way, Fernandino Teens, meron pala akong bugtong para sa inyo tungkol sa Twitter. Kung ang Facebook ay FB at ang Instagram ay IG, ano naman sa Pilipino ang Twitter? Isip-isip. Ilagay ang sagot sa comment section. And the top one, the mostly used social media platform from 2019 to 2020 is none other than Facebook. About 77.85% of the Philippine population uses Facebook this year of 2020 as stated by Statista.com. Ngayon, balikan naman natin kung ano ang sagot sa bugtong kanina tungkol sa Twitter. Kung ang Facebook ay FB at ang Instagram ay IG, ano naman sa Pilipino ang Twitter? Kung ang sagot nyo ay matmatamit, tama kayo dyan. Dahil ang Twitter sa wikang Pilipino, ang ibig sabihin ay matmatamit. In those social media platforms that you have, what information do you usually share? Do you think your account is secured? Why or why not? Remember, there are possibilities that a social media account could be compromised. How do social media accounts get compromised? Your social media accounts share information about who you are, where you go, and what you do on a daily basis. Another way is that hackers can leverage social media accounts maliciously by creating apps that are intended to collect your information. Social media can be a way to allow hackers to obtain your banking information and use your personal information to impersonate you. When social media accounts get compromised, It may lead to identity theft. What is identity theft? Identity thieves can pretend to be you when he or she was able to steal your confidential data. He can get a loan using your identity, open credit cards, get a refund, apply for a job, get medical care, and commit crime or fraud. Besides that, identity theft can lead to stress or anxiety, embarrassment, time, expenses spent on recovery steps. Let's have a classic example. Do you still remember the local news in February 2016 about identity theft, wherein a public school teacher posted his PRC license after passing the LET exam? To his dismay, someone used his information to take out a loan worth 800,000 pesos. What about another news? When a call center agent dupes an Australian citizen to send her money. She allegedly created a fake Facebook account using the photos of a commercial model. She convinced the victim that she was poor and in need of financial help. With the different threats that we tackled, how do you protect your social media account? Comment your answers below. Great job! In order to protect your account, you need to limit your personal information. Information that you put on your account and made publicly seen can be a way on how hackers could get some information about you. Keep your personal information private. Avoid sharing your name, address, telephone number, birthday, passwords, and the name of the school when using internet. Online criminals often follow the breadcrumb trail we leave behind and build a duplicate or fake identity from those details. Avid users and oversharers on the likes of Facebook and Instagram are providing criminals with perhaps more information than intended. This information can be used to create false IDs such as driving licenses and passports, or worse, to create false credit cards or raid bank balances. We do not want that to happen to us, nor to our loved ones, right? We should be mindful of those threats whenever we use the internet. Next, you must use two-factor authentication. This extra step of login verification will trigger a text or email alert with a verification code if someone attempts to sign in from an unrecognized device or IP address. If you set up two-factor authentication, you will be asked to enter a special login code or confirm your login attempt each time someone tries accessing Facebook from a computer or mobile device you don't recognize. You can also get alerts when someone tries logging in from a computer you don't recognize. Avoid oversharing is another way to protect your account. Oversharing on social media makes everyday consumers vulnerable to identity theft, hacks, and scams. It's important to have tools to protect your finances and to combat fraud. As mentioned earlier, real-world criminals like to source valuable information about empty homes online. So, if you are going to leave your home for 2 weeks, don't announce it on social media. And if you must share holiday details, do so when your social media account can be seen only by friends and family. Finally, use strong passwords in order to protect your account. Passwords are the most common form of authentication used to control access to information, ranging from the personal identification numbers we use for automatic teller machines or ATM, credit cards, telephone calling cards, voicemail systems to the more complex alphanumeric passwords that protect access to files, computers, and network servers. Passwords are widely used because they are simple, inexpensive, and convenient mechanisms to be used and implemented. Remember, a strong password must be at least 8 characters. It must be a combination of capital and lowercase letters, numbers, and special symbols. With these gentle reminders, let us ask ourselves, are we secured? Is our account secured? The answer lies within you alone. There you have it, Fernandino teens, our tips in protecting your social media account. For the next part of our discussion, I will be showing you how to protect your data using your personal computer through hands-on activity. You may get your laptop and start it up so you can follow the steps when Fernandino Teens TV returns.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Ang polio ay isang sakit na nagdudulot ng permanenteng pagkalumpo. Walang lunas ng polio, ngunit maaari itong maiwasan. Dalawang bagay ang maaaring gamitin upang maiwasan ang polio. Dalawang klase ng ligtas at epektibong bakuna. Isa sa mga bakunang ito ay ibinibigay sa pamamagitan ng 2 patak sa bibig ng bata. Oral polio vaccine ang tawag dito. Ang isang bakuna ay tinuturok. Inactivated poliovirus vaccine naman ang tawag dito. Tinuturuan ng 2 bakunang ito kung paano lalabanan ng poliovirus, ngunit ginagawa nila ito sa magkaibang paraan. Ang oral polio vaccine ay binubuo ng proteksyon sa bituka. Pinoprotektahan ng bakunang ito hindi lamang ang mga batang nabakunahan kundi pati na rin ang ibang kabataang nasa paligid. Ang bawat bata ay dapat mabigyan ng oral polio vaccine ng maraming beses sa mga lugar na may panganib ng polio. Ang bakunang tinuturok ay bumubuo ng proteksyon sa dugo sa halip na sa bituka. Nakatutulong ito upang mapalakas ang kaligtasan mula sa polio at mapanatiling malaya ang bansa mula sa polio. Ngunit hindi nito pinipigilan ang pagkalat ng polio sa pagitan ng mga bata kaya hindi ito nakatutulong sa mga lugar kung saan laganap pa ang poliovirus. Kailangan natin ng oral vaccine upang mapigilan ang virus saan man ito nakikita. Kapag nawala na ang polio sa lahat ng lugar, ang inactivated poliovirus vaccine ang gagamitin upang mapanatili ang proteksyon sa buong populasyon. Ang 2 bakunang ito ay pinatunayang ligtas at epektibo ng World Health Organization. Upang maproteksyonan at masiguradong epektibo, kailangan ay mabigay sa lahat ng mga bata kahit saan man sila nakatira. Salamat sa mga bakunang ito. Bumaba ng 99% ang mga kaso ng polio sa buong mundo. Bakunahan ang bawat batang Pilipino. Wakasan natin ang polio. Pumunta sa pinakamalapit na health center para sa libre at ligtas na bakuna laban sa polio.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Fernandino Teens TV.
You're still tuned in to Fernandino Teens TV. A while back, we were reminded with the following important suggestions or tips on how to protect your social media accounts. At this point, let me demonstrate with you on how we can protect our data using our personal computer so that our confidential files will not be easily compromised. Are you ready for the drill? Let's begin. We will now try to hide our partition in our hard drive. Assuming your hard drive have different partitions, not only drive C, you have a partition for backups. Let me show you by pressing WinE again. Here is the Explorer. here is the PC. So you can see here are the drive. The drive C contains the Windows platform where our computer starts and operates. And this is the drive D. We have a drive F here. So I'm gonna try to hide this drive, assuming there are other people who are trying to borrow or use my computer, and I would like to protect this drive that contains confidential data. But mind you, don't ever do this to other computers that you do not own. So when I open the folder or drive, this is drive F, local disk F, it will be open. That's it. These are the different folders and contents of drive F. So this drive F, I'm going to hide later using the CMD. This time it is not CACLS because CACLS is for folders alone. So I'll be using another Windows tool or utility by the name of disk part. This part is a disk partition tool of the Windows platform. Let me hit enter. And then I'm gonna press or click yes. So it will open another command shell. Here it is. So you see, this part is the prompt or the indicator of this command. So the next step is to list first the volume. The volumes are the different partitions available within this hard drive. The computer having this hard drive. List volume, and then I'm gonna hit enter. So you can see these are the different volumes. Windows C, this is it. Volume 1. Recovery. Volume 4. And then we also have the drive F, which is volume 2. Okay? So what do we do here? The command will be select the volume, which is for the drive F, which is volume 2. And then I'm gonna hit enter. So the volume 2 will now be selected. That's it. Volume 2 is for drive F. So now we'll try to hide this. The command will be remove. Remove, and then we will try to use the letter of the volume. Remove space letter space F. Drive F is the volume 2 that we would like to hide so that others won't be able to see it. I'm gonna hit enter. What will happen? Check this out. Oh, where is drive F? It disappeared, right? So that's how we hide specific partitions or volume in the hard drive. Now, what if you would want to bring it back again? So you will be able to access the contents of that drive or partition. Here is the command. Assign space, letter, space F. A while ago, when we tried to hide it, we made use of remove, and then space, and then letter, space, the drive letter F. So assign, space, letter, space F will be used now to bring back and show the drive F again. I'm gonna hit enter. So we'll check. It's not yet appearing. So maybe we need to refresh. Let me check. I'm gonna refresh here. So here it is. Have you seen it? Have you tried it? Fernandino teens, that is how we hide or unhide a partition in the hard drive so that you can protect the confidential data stored in that particular partition or volume. Cool, isn't it? Next, I'm gonna show you now on how to protect a folder using WinRAR. Are you familiar with WinRAR? WinRAR is an open source software that we use in order to extract or compress the contents of a folder. And we could even protect that folder. Let me first close the CMD because what I'll be showing with you will be in the Windows graphical user interface. So I'm gonna close this or I'm gonna type exit, whichever. Hit enter and the CMD shell will now be closed. Allow me to just use this PHS. Okay? PHS. Yeah, you can do it. Since we already have a folder, we'll try to secure this folder using WinRAR. What are the steps? First, I'm gonna right click on the folder and then select or click Add to Archive. And a dialog box will appear. So here is the name of the folder. It will be named phs.rar. It will become archive. Meaning, it can compress the contents of the folder. It can lessen the size of the contents of the folder. What's next? After right-clicking on the folder and adding to archive, we'll go to the Advanced tab. I'm gonna click it. And then you will see these choices. So, do you see this? Set password. So that we could set or provide a password for the folder that we'd want to compress. I'm gonna click set password and I'm gonna provide just a short password. Of course, you need to remember your password. So there is a prompt that caps lock is on, but I'm just using numbers for my sample password. Here it is. So there are two sets of password to confirm and verify that that will be the same password that you are using. So I'm gonna hit OK and then OK again. So the PHS folder can now have a compressed folder. I'll open this. It was opened, right? Because it is not protected. So what I will do is, I'm gonna delete this. Okay? I'll just drag it to the recycle bin or right click and then delete. So it disappeared. The folder PHS that is unprotected disappeared. I'm gonna open this now in order to check if it was protected by the folder or by the password that we have set a while ago. I'm gonna double click this one. Close and then double click again. So you can see that there is a content or there is a file inside the folder. But when you try to open the folder, let us check. Or when you try to open the file within that folder PHS that is compressed with the password, we will see if it will open. So there is a password. So unless you provide the right password, you won't be able to open the file. So let's try to open it using our password, the password that we had set a while ago. I'm gonna hit OK, and then it will open the file. But if you don't know the password, you won't be able to open the file which is protected inside that folder. I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna try it again. Double click and then it will open the folder and then it will show us the file. So double click again and the folder containing the password will provide a dialog box. So if you don't know the password, you won't be able to open the file. See? That's how we protect our data. I'm gonna cancel this and I'm gonna close it. Now, last, what if I would like to unprotect this folder? Would that be possible? Yes, of course. I'm gonna right click on the folder and then extract to. I'll select this, extract to the name of the folder, to PHS, and then click it. So you're going to provide now the correct password. I'll type it, OK. There you have it. So it gave you a folder containing the file that is now unprotected. See? So you can now open again the file because we have unprotected it. This is the result of unprotecting the protected folder that we provided password a while ago. Did you get it? Very good. Isn't that cool? You can now easily protect your files and folders using these cool tips. Did you enjoy our practical measures on safeguarding our personal data in our own computers? Isn't it a relief knowing that your data are secured? We will play a game when we return. So stay tuned!
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Nag-aalala si Mommy and Daddy. Huwag daw munang pumasok sa school dahil sa COVID-19. Paghandaan natin ang pagpasok sa teleskwela. Una, gumising ng maaga nang may kasamang ngiti at sigla. Pangalawa, kumain ng masustansyang pagkain gaya ng prutas at gulay para may lakas habang nag-aaral. Siyempre, huwag rin kalimutang maligo, magsuot na rin ng komportableng damit. Siguraduhing maayos at malinis ang lugar kung saan manonood ng teleskwela. At panghuli, ihanda ang mata, tenga at ang mga gamit pang skwela. Ayan! Ready ka na para sa teleskwela?
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at cltv36.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino Teens. Before we proceed to the activity, let us have a short video presentation about cybersecurity.
Would you be comfortable living in a house that someone else had the key to? What if an underground tunnel led into it from a public park, where its windows could never quite close all the way? Would you trust it with your safety and your privacy? The internet is that house. This is not to say never go into the house, but rather you should know the hazards before you store all of your valuables there, and do what you can to protect them. So why is it insecure, and why can't we just fortify it until it's safe? Well, first of all, the internet was not originally built to be what it is today. It's like someone decided to expand a shoebox into a skyscraper. The internet originally developed when computers were huge and so expensive to own that only universities, big businesses, and a few governments had them. The point, originally, was to let these massive supercomputers talk to each other. And as soon as two computers could send information back and forth, we had a network. The network gradually grew until personal computers emerged in the 1980s, and then it exploded. Soon, people were not just talking to each other, but also exchanging money, playing games, reading news, shopping, and doing everything we associate with the internet today. Other devices started talking to the network too. Phones and cars and refrigerators and elevators and power plants and much, much more. But the ease of all those devices talking to each other came at a price: security. One computer could send another instructions to delete everything on it or take it over. We call these viruses and malware. Or one person could steal another's identity by guessing, cracking, or extracting a password. Vulnerabilities such as these will never completely go away because they're built into the internet's very architecture. Criminals use them to steal billions of dollars, governments use them for surveillance, and hacktivists use them to further their political goals. Between 2004 and 2013, over 1 billion records of personal information were stolen or leaked through data breaches of major organizations. As a thought experiment, let's imagine what a perfectly secure internet might look like. Users would not be allowed to download or install anything onto their computers. All internet traffic would be monitored and regulated by bots and humans, massively limiting the number of websites you could visit. In order to log on to a website, you'd have to type in a 100-character password, submit a genetic sample, and whistle a tune. The servers that hold data would be kept in heavily armed fortresses on the moon. And even with all these safeguards in place, some clever hacker would almost certainly still find a way in. The good news is, even with our flawed internet, there are simple things you can do to protect yourself. And there are a lot of people committed to making the internet more secure. In Nova's Cybersecurity Lab, you'll play as one of these people, protecting a company that's the target of increasingly sophisticated cyber attacks. You must continuously strengthen your defenses to thwart these attackers. You'll do this by completing challenges that will give you basic coding abilities, help you spot scams designed to trick you into giving up your secrets, and teach you how passwords are cracked and strengthened. The house that is the internet may be built on a shaky foundation, but it's been a home to innovation and an unprecedented free exchange of ideas. It's up to us to make it livable in spite of its flaws.
After watching the video presentation, let us check on your understanding of the lesson. Now, let's have a recap of your lesson for today in a form of a game you are all familiar with, fact or bluff. Based on our discussion, type F if the statement is a fact, or B if it is not. Ready? It is said that cybersecurity is essential to any organization or individual who might be a target of cyber threats and attacks. For item number 1, common forms of cybersecurity are computer security and information security. Is it a fact or a bluff? Nice start! It is a fact. Next, computer security threat is anything that may cause damage to the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of your data. Is it a fact or a bluff? You got it right. It is a fact. Item number 3. Attacks include computer viruses, worms, trojans, and spyware. Is it a fact or a bluff? It is a bluff. Malwares, hackers, predators, and phishing are the forms of attack. Let's go to item number 4. Examples of malwares are computer viruses, worms, trojans, and spyware. Is it a fact or a bluff? Correct! The answer is fact. For item number 5, phishing means using computers to commit fraudulent acts such as fraud, privacy invasion, stealing corporate or personal data, and so on. Is it a fact or a bluff? That is a bluff. Using computers to commit fraudulent acts such as fraud, privacy invasion, stealing corporate or personal data, and so on is called hacking. On the other hand, phishing is a cybercrime in which a target or targets are contacted by email, telephone, or text message. Did you get all the answers correctly? Cool! Before we finally end our episode, let me reiterate some reminders. Do not open attachments. Avoid providing personal information. Never send credit card details. Use your common sense. Now, here are the tips on how to protect your social media account. First, close the accounts that you are not using. Second, check what apps are connected to your social media account. Third, practice good password hygiene. Fourth, keep your mobile apps updated. Fifth, use a unique email for your social media accounts. Sixth, manage your privacy settings. Seventh, limit your personal information. 8. Use two-factor authentication. 9. Don't overshare. And lastly, use strong passwords. The strong passwords are essential measures in securing data. It has been said, and I quote, that the computer is intelligent to the intelligent user. The great benefits brought by the invention of the computer and the internet has tremendously changed the way people live their lives. It changed how people work and play. It even revolutionized the way people learn, communicate, socialize, and do business. The main purpose of these innovations is to make things and tasks easier, lighter, and faster for all of us. However, if we don't take extra cautions on how we use the computer and the social media, as these are already part of our daily lives, we might end up regretful that there are also negative impacts that ICT might bring us. Let us neither become a victim nor a culprit of cybercrimes. So, we need to be vigilant, extra careful, and mindful of its proper use by applying safety and ethical standards so that we can fully enjoy the advantages of information and communication technology as students and as individuals in these modern times. Don't forget to apply tried and tested safety procedures on the use of ICT, especially during this pandemic where everybody depends on it mostly every day. Be a responsible user of ICT. Think before you click. Be cyber-secured. Fernandino teens, I hope this learning session will help you become more aware of the possible threats in using ICT and that you will be able to apply your learnings, especially the tips, in order to safeguard your data and maintain the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your accounts and unique identity. Keep learning and make sure to share your learnings to those who needed it, because only in selflessly sharing that the body of knowledge extends and multiplies. Here are the references used for this webinar. Again, I am SirCABS. Thank you for tuning in to Fernandino Teens TV. God bless and have a great day.
Ganun pala. Dapat maging maingat sa paggamit at sa pag-share ng mga post sa social media.
At dapat ay strong passwords ang laging gamitin sa mga accounts natin.
Tama. Dapat ay maging responsableng netizens tayo upang maprotektahan natin ang ating mga sarili.
Kaya naman pala ayaw mabuksan ng account ko. Naka-on pala ang caps lock key, kaya mali ang input ng password. Hay naku, Fer! Kahit kailan talaga. Oh, sorry na. Fernandino Teens, marami rin ba kayong natutunan ngayong araw kagaya namin? Kaya naman, maraming salamat, sir!
Isa na namang kamanghamanghang talakayan ang ating napanood ngayong araw.
Laging tumutok at abangan ang susunod na episode ng
Fernandino
Teens
TV, na kung saan ang kabataang Fernandino ay angat sa angking talino. Paalam!
Bagong umaga, yakapin mo ang bagong pag-asa. Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng City Government of San Fernando, DepEd Division of Schools of San Fernando, at CLT